Hi everybody. Today's collective reading is slightly different, shorter I guess, but I still tried to branch out amongst the different decks because I was interviewed on a podcast yesterday, and for the interview she also wanted me to do a forecast for twin flames for the rest of the year. So that was my question and focus with Spirit and the cards with this reading, okay? And as I said to her during the podcast, there is a very strong emphasis on union here. It's funny actually because she pointed out that I said there's 5 union cards, and she said on the 5-5 portal there's 5 union cards, and we were blown away by that. There were some other amazing synchronicities as well, just with how the podcast came together and the scheduling and everything. So when she posts that on her site, I will, and on different mediums for podcasts, I will share that with you guys so that you can listen. I believe it's going to be the beginning of June, but I'm not 100% on when. So, I'm going to go card by card here. I didn't go card by card on the podcast. So, starting off with the Akashic Records, Spirit is validating that obstacles are being cleared away so that twins are able to start moving forward in the right direction for their lives, not just with coming back together with their twin flames, but also with coming together with their soul tribes, because that's what this card represents, that your relationships that are not part of your soul family are going to start falling away. And I mean any type of relationship, okay? And you're going to start connecting with the people who are meant to be in your lives, who are meant to be with you, helping you, guiding you down the spiritual direction for your lives, your life purpose, your soul purpose, and your twin flame purpose as well. Your twin flame is the number one person in that. So, but it's not just your twin. In any case, obstacles are in the process of being cleared away so that you can come together with these people. There may still be a little bit of a period of time where as things are being shifted around and moved into place how they need to be, some of you are still going to have triggers and you're still going to have ups and downs, because that's just part of the journey. It's a normal part of the process. I've come to learn that it's even an important part of the process, because those triggers are integral with releasing wounds, with releasing society expectations and templates that are ingrained in us from childhood, and helping us to shift into 5D consciousness and awareness on more of a full-time basis. So Spirit is basically kind of training you to see the positives, to see the silver linings, to look past the difficulties, to see the bigger picture, to release what's no longer serving you, to release negativity, and to help you focus in the right ways, okay? Spirit is helping you to connect with your intuition, connect with your spirit guides, release fears and lower negative energies that have been holding you back, and trusting that Spirit has everything under control and is bringing everything together for you, okay? As far as karmic situations go, there's a lot of strife and difficulties that are bringing those situations to a head so that they can be put into the past and left there. DMs who are dealing with karmic situations, actually, I shouldn't even specify DMs because DFs are as well. Divine masculines and divine feminines who are dealing with karmic situations are being given or are finding all of the information that they need in order to handle these situations properly so that they can come to an end for good. They can be completely put to bed, and they are going to push through and get this done, okay? So right now, while these remaining things are being worked on, don't let pride get in your way. And if you're so guided, be bold and make the first move, okay? Because sometimes we might need to give the masculines or give your partners, your twins, a reminder that you're here and you're supporting them, and that you want to hear from them, because you know there's some that as they struggle to shift out of negativity, they may still be holding back a little bit, or they might be like wanting to come forward but afraid of your rejection. So I feel like that's where this comes into play, is to let them know that they're not going to be rejected. Basically, you don't have to say it like that. Listen to your intuition when it comes to what to say and how to say it. But the biggest thing here is don't let pride get in your way, because pride is a lower energy. Pride is a negative lower energy that's holding you back. So it's time to, release those things, okay? Know that luck is on your side and your hard work is paying off, okay? Things are going to get a lot better. You are going to have communication with your twins, and they are going to, pretty much everything left is about union, okay? You're going to have communication with your twins. You're going to have powerful changes. I mean, it says expect powerful change, but I love that this card is an eclipse card, because that means that there's a lot of energy coming up. And you know what? I believe eclipse season starts soon as well. So those energies are going to start helping to push and motivate your twins also. So of the remaining amazing and beautiful cards, I guess I will start here. You guys, you divine feminines, are getting into your powerful, successful, abundant, prosperous queen energy, who is, you're also becoming strong leaders in the twin flame community and the collective. And this queen in this picture, she is looking out off in the distance at her king, who is on his way home. And on the King of Keys card, the king is on his horse on his way home, and he is looking at his castle off in the distance. And we know from this that the queen is on the terrace looking out at him. So queens, you are looking out at your twin, and he is on his way home, okay? We literally have both two significant twin flame union cards from the Angel Tarot. Both of these represent exactly that. I mean, the Two of Water is about the relationship coming together, moving past conflicts from the past, forgiving each other, and moving forward. And the Four of Fire is about everything coming together, your whole lives, and having this happy, joyful, successful life, both at home and in work, and just like everything all around is coming together. This 4 house card from the Lenormand deck, it has come to be a twin flame union card as well, because to me it means the same thing as this 4 of Fire, and I associate them together. So like when I'm using the Lenormand deck, if I pull this card out, I see it as the 4 of Fire. So there's another twin flame union card. Wait, I said 5 before. Oh, I think the expect powerful change one might have been. No. Okay. Yeah. Okay, there's those. And then we have birth. And it's birthing a brand new life. This is similar to the Empress card, but I take it more powerfully in the twin flame union direction as well, because again, the meaning is almost the same as the 4 of Fire. It's a family coming together. It's creating a new family. Now, how that looks depends on each twin flame pair, whether that's blending your families, whether that's getting pregnant and conceiving your spirit babies, or if it's just coming together on your own for now, because obviously not everybody's going to conceive immediately, but you are joining together, creating new families, creating new homes, and birthing brand new lives for yourself, and birthing brand new chapters for yourself as well, because you're leaving all that karmic crap behind and you're starting out on brand new beginnings. You guys are taking a leap of faith, following your dreams, and starting off on brand new beginnings together, okay? And I really feel like the Add Some card is another validation for twin flame union, because it doesn't, you would automatically think from it, and it's a 22. Just saying, 22s are everywhere. For many people I know, not just me, you would automatically realize that it's saying that spirit is guiding you. Your entire spirit teams are with you guys, guiding you. Loved ones, guardian angels, fairies, ascended masters, all types of spirits are with you and guiding you. And spirit, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. So not only are your spirit teams with you and guiding you, but they are helping to make sure your twin flame journeys are moving forward how they're meant to. They're helping to coordinate things. They're helping to make sure everything happens how it's supposed to. And it also means the arrival at your goals and your dreams. And we know that with the twin flame journey, that means union, okay? I want to add to that. I don't know why I couldn't speak for a second. I'm sorry. I literally, my voice got caught in my throat. I don't know if you might have heard a tiny little sound there. But I want to add to that. The arrival of your dreams and your goals with the twin flame journey. Of course, the number one thing we focus on is union with our beloved, because it's something that we can't stop thinking about from the moment of separation until it happens. But the twin flame journey, as we know, is about the spiritual awakening too. So it's this much bigger process of your own path, your own journey from who you used to be in the 3D to this brand new person. This brand new person is birthed as well into the 5D, and you are taking on these new roles in your own life. Sometimes it's brand new job, sometimes it's spiritual work, sometimes it's your divine life purpose, basically. So that is also coming to pass, and abundance is coming with it. Okay, so twin flames, I believe, are pretty much guaranteed abundance, because it's like the reward of going through such a difficult journey and awakening, and blessings and abundance are promised, as well as that twin flame union. Okay, so the arrival at your goals is represented here, and I do believe that many twin flames will be experiencing that this year, and will become having happy outcomes, victory, and success in their connections and in their twin flame journeys, and as individuals, not just as partners. I do want to add, as a disclaimer, like, obviously not every single twin flame pair is going to come into union this year. It depends on where you're at in your journey. So definitely, I feel first wavers should be very confident. And these are people who have been going through this journey for a long time. Some of them have known each other for decades. Some of them have known each other for a decade. Some of them have known each other for 5+ years. Maybe some first wavers have been less than that too. It really just depends. I think average now at this point in time from people I've met along the way is probably 4 or 5 years or so, and longer. But that is not a guarantee. That is not written in stone. I want to leave a different card up for you to look at. Let's look at these. Let's look at these while I talk. So like I said, first wavers should feel very confident, and you should be seeing progress as well anyway. Okay, I know that a lot of first wavers are already in communication and in like the reunion stage, or what I call divine union under construction, because it's like you're working your way to that full union, but you're not 100% there yet. There could be some second wavers that are also working towards this and could be coming into union this year too. I will say that I think the newer waves, which I don't even know what the community has decided on, how are we just referring to third wave? Is there third wave and fourth wave? Is it just a new wave? Whatever, you know what I mean. The people who have been activated for twin flame, the twin flame journey more recently, that being within the last, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 years, probably, maybe 1, 2 years actually. You probably, it's important to stay positive, and I don't want to say for sure like no, because you never know what can happen, and big changes are happening in the world very quickly now. Like, have you noticed how crazy 2020 and 2021 are so far? 2020 in particular. that there's a reason for it, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and it's pushing people through awakenings much faster. The first wavers, it took so long because the world was moving slower, and awakenings in general were moving slower, and it was just a different process. I fully believe that the newer waves are going to move through the journey much quicker. That could also mean more tumultuous, because your ups and downs will be closer together instead of spread out. But still, I do believe that the newer waves are going to move through the process faster. And exactly when you come together, that really just depends on each pair. But I just wanted to mention that, because I don't want every single person who watches to think that it means that they will definitely come into union this year. But the energies are definitely very, very good for union, or for unions happening for twins. And sorry, I remembered something at the same time I was about to say something, and then it made me forget. So the unions are very good for twins. And and as more and more twins start coming into union together, that's going to have a snowball effect. It's going to be raising the vibration of humanity and Earth, and it's going to be helping more and more people get into that higher vibration, unconditional love energy, and shifting forward in their lives in general, as well as in their twin flame journeys. Okay, so the more that come together, the more that will continue to come together. Like that, it's going to start growing exponentially at some point. Someone had shared with me a post by a different reader. I don't know where they were getting the dates from. Of course, now I wouldn't even be able to find it that quickly. But there was a reader who posted some dates for unions. I know that she's talked about first wave a lot happening in the summer, or this year. No, she said in the summer. I want to say that she said second wave either like fall, winter, or beginning of 2022. And the new wave, because I don't think she differentiated beyond that, she put like 2022, 2023, I think. But it's like I said, none of that is set in stone, and lots of things can change. And the more inner work you do, the more it helps your journey. I believe that while our journeys are largely planned out and designed by spirit, even before our incarnation, I believe that the free will and the soul will work together. Soul will always overrules everything, but if you use your free will to make good choices, to do your inner work, to focus on raising your vibration, you can help the process along. If you focus on positive energy and bringing positive energy into your life, and avoiding negative energy and learning how to release it and stay balanced, you can help the process along. And it can happen earlier, I would say. Those are things that spirit coordinates. It's not something that anybody can really know for sure, but I feel confident in that. And it's the same as how free will can also cause delays by focusing on negative energy, and by focusing on difficulties and being pessimistic, and allowing struggles and triggers and whatnot to get to you, both by the divine masculine and by the divine feminine. And that's why and how delays can occur. And the divine feminines have to work hard at staying balanced and stable despite whatever the divine masculines do. Because there is this, I'll explain this in a second, okay? There is this belief by a lot of people in the twin flame community who are, honestly, I feel, learning the wrong things. But it's this, I see this belief spreading. And it's something I'm going to speak about soon in my blog. There's a lot of people who believe that your twin flame will never do anything to hurt you, will never do anything wrong or bad or toxic, and that they're always perfect, and a twin flame relationship is always good. And I'm sorry to tell you that that's not correct. twin flames, I mean, you go into separation for a reason. So obviously that causes pain in and of itself. And that is connected to wounds that need to be healed. So those wounds cause divine masculines to act in ways that can hurt their feminines, some more than others. Some can be borderline toxic, like I said. Some can, there's people who claim that twin flames are narcissists, and that's wrong. But for some divine masculines, they can go through a phase in the beginning when they're in the runner stages that can be similar to narcissistic behavior. And that's because those divine masculines are so wounded by their past that when they meet their twins, it's so overwhelming that they shift into self-sabotaging behavior because of their defense mechanisms, because they don't know how to handle it, to be honest. And I say this as someone who has both a bachelor's and a master's in psychology and and what was I going to say? Oh, and experience with 3 narcissists, okay? I know the difference between narcissists and divine masculines who are going through the runner phase, okay? Divine masculines who behave that type of behavior, they are heavily afflicted with abandonment wounds and usually parent wounds and commitment issues that cause them to be very afraid of they're afraid of commitment, and they're afraid of it because they're afraid of being abandoned and being hurt. And that's why it's usually parent wounds, because usually where it comes about from, not 100% of the time, but usually is because of difficulties in their childhood, like with their parents, where they basically, their needs were not met. They were either completely abandoned or they were emotionally abandoned, or similar things. They were neglected. They have attachment styles that are not secure attachment. This is a psychological term. They have attachment styles that are, this group is probably more likely in the avoidant attachment style rather than the ambivalent one. Because ambivalent is more likely to be codependent and avoidant is more likely to do this narcissistic type running behavior. And it's because those wounds cause them to be afraid to open their hearts, because then if they're afraid, they think that if they open their hearts that they're going to be hurt. So this twin flame love is so intense and so overwhelming that as much as they want it, they're so scared of it. So scared of it. They are so afraid that if they open up their hearts to you, that you're going to hurt them, that you're going to abandon them. And that is one of the reasons why those wounds have to be healed, because they are going to continue to display self-sabotaging behavior. They're going to continue to display negative patterns of behavior because they don't know how to be in a healthy relationship. And that is why the journey is actually so important for healing them, because it teaches them, it releases those wounds, and it teaches them how to be brave enough to open their heart and work hard at healing themselves and being able to be in a healthy relationship. And that's when they are ready to come together with you again. But the thing that's important to remember about that is that when they are displaying those toxic behaviors, such as running and the narcissistic behavior, I mean, it really just depends on the person, on what it is. Like if they pick a fight with you and they act selfish and self-centered, or they try to pretend like things didn't happen a certain way, or they even claim that they didn't say things that they said, or they kind of treat you like you're crazy a little bit for acting like there's this amazing love that they're afraid of and they're running from, so they're trying not to acknowledge it. That behavior, while I do understand why some people think that it's narcissistic, and it is narcissistic behavior, but they're not narcissists. And the difference is that the reason why they are not narcissists is because narcissists don't care. Narcissists do not care at all about you. They're only ever using you and manipulating you. They are pathological liars, and they will hurt anyone and everyone, basically, with no remorse whatsoever. These divine masculines, they are not like that. They do care. They don't want to hurt you. They experience a lot of remorse and regret. They might not tell you right away. It might take some time, but they do. And the difference is simply that while they're in those extreme wounded stages, they are not able to show you their true selves or show you their hurts. They have to go through the healing process first before they can do that. But they do care, and they don't mean to hurt you. They're just, they're putting up walls around their heart because they're afraid of getting hurt, and that's why they're acting like that. But that behavior, is not something that they will display all the time either. It'll just be sometimes when they are more, they're honestly they're triggered is what it is. And you know what? I posted something not too long ago that explains that perfectly. It's also in my blog that I just did on separation. But what it says is that if they run while you're there, it means that you've somehow triggered their hurtful past unintentionally. Twin flames don't run away from each other. They love each other too much. However, they run away from themselves, their fear and insecurities. And that's what it is. So when they behave like that, it's because they're running away from their fears and their insecurities and their true feelings because they're so scared. But they will not, they only do that sometimes. They don't act like that all the time. And they do care. They don't want to hurt you, and they do feel bad. And they will make up for that in the future as well, okay? But do trust me, believe me, it is not the same as narcissists. There is a very distinct difference between narcissists. Narcissists are psychopaths. Narcissists are capable of physical and emotional and psychological harm. They're abusive. They could be serial killers even. And they're just outright abusive. Twin flames aren't abusive. They are damaged, and this journey heals them. And while they're damaged still and running, they will trigger you with their bad negative behavior patterns, but it's not going to be a constant or an always. It's going to be something that heals and changes, okay? So hopefully that helps, and I am going to talk about that at more length in a blog. So, I don't even remember why I started that. No, I for real don't even remember why I started that. So I'm just going to shift topics. Yeah, no idea. Okay, well, I was shuffling the Power of Love deck while I was talking. And I was going, because it didn't take me very long to go through those cards. So I wanted to pull a few more to add on. And my intention with the Power of Love cards was what is being activated right now. And while I was shuffling, I hadn't even drawn any cards yet. The Harmony and Joy popped out. So as if this stack of cards from the main reading didn't already scream union, here's some more cards indicating union coming. So things are going to start getting a lot better, you guys. Harmony and joy and union are coming. It's bugging me. I want to remember what I forgot. Okay, but here is what else is being activated. Okay. Detachment from the releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve you. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. Forgiveness for those bad behaviors and old patterns that I was just talking about. Individuality, which it's like I was saying earlier, that this journey is not just about the relationship. It's about bringing you back to who you really are, your authentic selves, and what is meant for you on your individual life paths as well. And loyalty from your partner, okay? So I think this is going along really clearly with what I was already talking about, which honestly, that was probably Spirit talking through me anyway. So Spirit's just reinforcing the message. I think that one of the things I maybe was going to say is that it's important to remember that when your twins are behaving in those ways, that you have to shift out of negative thought processes about it, of holding stuff against them, and shift more towards higher frequencies of unconditional love and forgiveness. That doesn't mean you have to, forgive really bad behavior. That is something that you would want to discuss, but you do want to focus on handling things in a healthy way and forgiving and moving forward, because the bottom line is, and this is something that I learned, is that you can't walk away from your twin. So it ends up being that the ways that they inadvertently hurt you. Oh, I was talking about the people who think that your twins will never hurt you or do anything painful. You end up forgiving that stuff because the pain of being away from them is greater than the pain that they caused from their wounded behavior. So the more you can shift into that unconditional love, the more you can accept the reasons behind that behavior and forgive them, and they will and you will see them shift into healthier behavior as they go through the journey. And this actually reminds me of something that I thought of earlier on, and I took note of to discuss also in a blog. But there are a lot of people who tell you, and there are even people who mean well and try to understand the journey. And sometimes it's psychics, and sometimes it's a loved one's. Sometimes it's other twin flames that don't know how to get through the journey. They tell you to do things like give ultimatums or threaten that they'll lose you, threaten that you're going to walk away, or maybe not threaten, but just make them feel like they could lose you. And what came to me, I have always struggled with that, because in some ways I kind of saw, yeah, maybe he does need to worry about losing me. I more so felt like I don't want him to feel like I would abandon him, because that's why he's wounded in the first place. So I have never done that. And this whole message came to me earlier. I guess you could say it was a download. And it was, don't play mind games with your DM when you're both trying to heal wounds, because choices like that are manipulative behavior, that are lower energies, that are just poking the wounds that they're trying to heal and that you want them to heal so that they can come together with you. So if you're going to poke those wounds, you're just going to make it worse. That's the opposite of what you want to do. You want to show them that unconditional love that I was talking about. And you want to show them that, remember what I was saying, that those wounds come from, for those, especially those masculines that are dealing with abandonment wounds and mother issues and father issues. And that is why they're scared of commitment. If you are showing them that you will give up on them, you will walk away if they don't, do whatever it is that you want them to do that is causing you to make this threat, then you're just reinforcing the fear that is causing them to act that way. They need to learn that those wounds are underneath that, like relabeling those wounds, they fall under the category of self-worth issues. The reason why they have abandonment wounds and fear of commitment is because they feel that they are not good enough, that even their own parents didn't love them enough to provide for them how they needed to. So they feel it's deep insecurities and wounds. They might behave in grandiose narcissistic ways in order to project ego behavior of I feel good about myself, I'm a great person, blah, 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 whatever. That is all covering up for deep insecurities. And actually, that is also what narcissism is. That's why it looks similar. But the difference is that narcissists are to such a level, an extreme, that they lose empathy at all and just reach that abusive state. These guys, these DMs are not to that level. But that's where the similarity is, and that's why they look similar, okay? But so like I was saying, if you do something that is manipulative, because that's what it is, that is something that is manipulative, that is meant to try to get them to do what you want, then you end up poking those wounds that are, that speak to the core of their self-worth issues in the first place. So they might not react how you want them to, because what you're telling them is that they're not good enough, and that you will abandon them if they don't do what you want. So that's another reason why it's more important to focus on unconditional love, acceptance, and forgiveness. And sometimes that doesn't feel fair. I will tell you that for sure. Sometimes it doesn't feel fair because you feel like you deserve, whatever too. And you're right, you do. But you have to understand that this is part of the process, and this is part of the journey, and the DMs are healing and transforming and learning, and they're going to get there. And when they get there, they're going to make up for it all, okay? But while they're in the process of the journey, and while they're dealing with certain karmic situations, they're just not capable of doing exactly what you want. So you have to be compassionate and empathetic and understanding of that, and give them the space and time that they need to get there, okay? And I also added here, learn to use, instead of doing that manipulative behavior to make them feel like they're going to lose you or whatever it is, instead, learn to use healthy communication and boundaries, explain your needs and your triggers, and use positive reinforcement and positive ways of communication to help explain what it is you need to them without making them feel like you will abandon them, basically, okay? Or whatever the threat is that you are trying to say to them. And that is going to help them break their toxic patterns, because they're going to feel safer with you, and them feeling safer with you helps them to take down their walls and open their heart to you. Okay, so that is going to help them along in the process. So as much as I understand where it comes from when people say, make them feel like they're going to lose you, you're actually having the opposite effect. You're causing them to put up more walls instead of bringing them down, and that can just delay your journey more. So I strongly feel that that is, while it's a very, very common and probably the most common reaction to have, because that's what society teaches us in our 3D world where we all react out of defense mechanisms, it's the opposite of what you should be doing. You need to shift into that 5D unconditional love thinking, okay? So, I think that we have some great messages here. I'm starting to get a little long now. The last thing I want to do is get some soul truth advice for you from Spirit. You guys look at them while I'm shuffling one more time. I always shuffle, I don't know what you call it, but, and I can't really show you right now. Not the normal way. And then when I'm done shuffling, I feel the pattern, And when I stop, I take the top, the bottom, and I split the deck and take from the middle. Okay. What was I just going to say too? Oh my gosh. If my brain could work today. Oh, I was going to tell you a funny, interesting story real quick. So, you know, I've always thought it's interesting of how different readers shuffle. And I do believe that it's unique to each person, and spirit, you know, guides it even for each individual person, each individual reader, I mean. So like the way I shuffle is what works for me, and spirit makes sure that the right cards are coming out for me, even though it's completely different from how someone else shuffles. But I've always, like, my clients know that there are times that I literally laugh out loud. I literally laugh out loud sometimes because of the cards that come out, like the exact right card or the synchronicity between cards just blows me away sometimes. Oh my gosh, hold on. Victoria! Sorry. Answer the door.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I'm 100% certain that spirit guides the cards coming out, but I get blown away sometimes at how they come out and what comes out. Like, you know, sometimes a client will ask a very specific question, and I feel like, how could that possibly be answered? And then it's answered. But miraculously, I swear. Or sometimes it's the same cards coming out from different decks to validate a message. Sometimes it's a synchronicity and the mirroring between, like with my twin flame reading, I do a heart, and on one side is the feminine, on the other side is the masculine. And sometimes it'll be the cards mirroring each other along the way. Just, there's all sorts of reasons why. Or sometimes, like, when I'm giving a reading, I'll be channeling something and talking about something, and then the very next card will be like the exact words that I just said, and I did not plan that. So different reasons like that is why, like, I will literally laugh out loud sometimes at spirit just blowing me away. And I know, even though sometimes it seems like, how can these cards possibly be right? You know, it seems random, but they're not random. And I sometimes I'm like, how does spirit do it? And I have noticed, I am a medium also. I am gradually learning to open up my my energy field to allow spirits, like loved ones, to speak to me, give me messages for people. I am able to control it and not have a constant barrage like some mediums. But so... And my daughter, she used to be able to see spirits with her eyes, although I think that might be shifting to what's normal for most people, where it's just in your third eye. Now that she's getting older, I think that she's seeing them less, so I suspect that. But what I was going to say is that I've noticed that I seem to be starting to see them with my eyes a little bit here and there. I was walking back from the mailboxes the other day, and something appeared next to me. Like, I didn't think it was a spirit at first. I just saw the outline of something in my periphery, and when I looked, there was nothing there. And I turned around and I looked, and there was nothing there. But I'm 100% certain that I saw it, and I was like, I wonder if that was a spirit, and like trying to communicate with me. But because I have a shield, they couldn't just automatically communicate, so they kind of showed themselves a little bit. And I was like, that's interesting. And then and I have dealt with spirits a lot and gone through a lot of spiritual warfare, so it's not something that I'm afraid of, and that would be why that they are reaching the point where they're allowing themselves to do that. I have seen them in my third eye many times, but not with my eyes before. Although I have seen flashes of light and just something random in the corner of my eye that you have no idea what it is, and you look and it's gone. I've seen that a lot. And when I was at, I assume that most of you know about the Stoneman Douglas shooting from a few years ago. I live near there, and I'm a part of the color guard community too, so I'm well acquainted with Stoneman Douglas for that reason. And the year after the shooting, I worked there with the color guard, and I was in their gym, and I looked up. I was teaching, and I looked up, and all of a sudden I saw all of these silver lines crossing at diagonals, and like saw it with my eyes, and all I could do was like stand there and watch it for a second. It happened for like 30 seconds, and I feel like that might have even been the souls. So anyway, point being is that I see stuff sometimes. And a few weeks ago when I was doing a reading, I saw like a black shadow make an arc over the table, and my immediate thought was, I wonder if that was a fairy. And I was like, that's how they get the right cards out. The fairies are literally here making sure that the right cards come out in the right way. And I was like, that makes so much sense to me. And you know, I have no idea if I'm right or not, but that is what came to me. I was like, I bet that's right. And you know, I did not know that fairies were real until recently, but I think that's pretty cool. And I think my dog might have been playing with them once. I let her out back, and she was chasing something that was invisible, and I literally was flabbergasted. I'm like, are you playing with angels? But anyway, so you know that fairies and dragons and spirit animals are all real. They exist in, you know, another spiritual realm that interacts with us, just like angels and loved ones. So something to fascinate you with. So yes, that is how I think that readers are able to have accuracy with their cards, even though it seems random. I now think that fairies are helping, as well as your angels, of course. But anyway, and I've seen a video of a fairy too on Facebook. A woman captured what she thinks is a fairy in a video she was recording, and if she slowed it down, and you can see, just like what I described, you can see a black shadow fly through the room, and it makes like, it comes down and then it goes back up again. So it comes down and then it basically makes an arc, and you can tell that it's not a bird, but the shadow is big enough to be a bird. And even though it's not completely clear, I was like, totally believe her. I totally think it's a fairy. But anyway, let me finish the reading. So here is your soul truth guidance for advice for the Divine Feminines. What if it isn't true? The thing you are telling yourself right now, the concrete reasons why you think you don't belong, you can't do it, you won't get there, you're not enough, or it's not for you. What if it wasn't true? It's time for a soul chat. Close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and ask the wise one within you. What if it isn't true? What else might be possible? Journal your answer. What lie do I need to let go of to reach my soul's truth? And this is to help you down your individual journey, that individuality card, okay? What can I burn? Burn it. Burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you are not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today's soul action, make the choice that you will no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? Hold on. I want to do a different card first. Do I know all my strengths, and am I using them? We all have superpowers, but it's up to us to uncover them. When we live and lead with our strengths, we are able to show up in our zone of genius. This inspires others to do the same. Ask yourself, how can I use one of my soul's gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? What else could this mean? There are always multiple ways to look at every situation. Our first reaction is usually rooted in our fears and limiting beliefs. Look at a situation today by stepping outside of the trigger and ask, what else could this mean? Is there something your soul is calling you to learn in this moment, or is there a pattern that is ready to be broken? Walk in the other person's shoes and see it from their perspective. If it doesn't involve someone else, ask yourself, how is life happening for me right now? If I had a magic wand and could have anything I desired in life, what would I choose? Burn with desire. There is power in your desires. Let them be your fuel today. Your desires are your soul's wings, and it's time to take flight. Today, go inward in your... I can't talk. I can't read. Today, go inward. Your answers lie within. What do you desire? Choose what makes you happy and do that. And lastly, am I focused on what I am losing or gaining? Are you going through some change? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually beginnings. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are coming. I love the end of this reading, the very last sentence. Amazing things are coming. So, embrace the positive changes for yourself in your personal lives as well as everything coming to you with your twin flames, okay? And know that everything is in the process of coming together, and trust Spirit to help you get there, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you want to order a personal reading, you can order. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be a twin flame reading. It can be about anything. It can be about career or other stuff. I have a bunch of different listings in my Etsy shop, as well as, twin flame coaching. I also have narcissism coaching as well, narcissistic recovery coaching. Although I don't think I get as many followers about that. And I have Reiki, and I have a few other things to help with your journey with energy balancing and releasing negative energy and those types of things. So have a look and hit me up if you have any questions.